No, wait, no. My face is turned off. A bit laggy. Hello. This is Dominic Felgrand, your local lazy gamer. I'm here once again with a wee bit of RPG Maker. And I must tickle that earlobe. You can hear me, can't you? I'm sure you can. The sexy voice is right up in that ear hole. Anyway, hello. I've already said that. My desk is covered in stacks of cans of empty drink. That's going to make things a little awkward. But we should be fine. Assuming everything is turned on. Let me do my final checks. Yep. Yes. Chat cat, do something. Chat cat, do something. Chat cat's disappointments. Chat cat, you're a disappointment as always. How dare you? The one time I actually want you to do something and you just ignore me. Anyway, Aha! We're here. I already preemptively turned on Rusty, so you can have something to do while I'm doing my do. So, oh, yes. So, formerly I am sick, but I am better. I was better than I was yesterday. Well, better and worse. Turns out that bag of extra hot Doritos is kicking my ass, figuratively and literally. But, yeah, I should be fine now. I've taken a lot of medication and other stuff. But, yay. I tried out some new Monster earlier when I thought...
cat. Nia.
Chat cat, you absolute disappointment. It took you that long to say something. You know, one day I'm actually going to put a hat on Chat cat just to see what happens. Maybe put some stripes on its back. It looks kind of stripeless, you know, kind of lacking.
Tom brain is fried.
I'm not that fried. I'm a little fried. Anyway, so, assuming everything's on the point and my internet's not doing weird shit like it always does, we'll get straight into this. Now, according to this lineup of bullshit, everything up until right here is when our conversation actually happens. Right now we have the pet. The pet, our super sexy pet. Well, not sexy unless you're into that. But no, our pet is doing its thing. No, it kind of acts as a proof between us and the gods that he was looking out for us. It was looking out for us. Smexy. Don't worry, I'm here now. You can regret all your life choices in a bit. Ooh, I can just see you on the screen there doing some gardening. Actually, I might have to refresh that garden right here. Let me just help you out with that. And done, I think. Now, what we have to do is save up for this little guy in the bottom corner here, because he's going to do all the seed planting we need, so I don't have to come back to this every now and again. I hadn't finished the demo from the last time. The dog was a great asset. I hope so. Like, I wanted to give people something to work with at the very start, something that wasn't too demanding. Right? So I'm hoping it was the good choice. It was the right choice. I can't plant seeds here. Why can't I plant seeds? I'll just let it play itself out. Maybe there's a reason for it. Anyway. I'm hoping that we have to expand on a lot of stuff. Like, I still have to figure out how we're going to balance everything. And I want to implement a bunch of different ideas. But to do it, I need a bunch of stuff, a bunch of concepts. And I need to figure out how to balance it. But we'll worry about all that in the future. Like, worry about all that in the future. Very, very future. Okay. Okay, I gifted this one for your protection and company. The pet turns down. The pet should... This guy should have moved down to here, I believe. No, down here. No, down here. And then the pet moved up here. And while the pet popped up and moved about, we moved back, looked up, moved forward, looked back up when the dog got up to here. We didn't see the doggo since that. That's not true. The doggo has been following us since then. So what we need to do is start a new line of conversation. So how are we doing this? We have to use this god to introduce information and get this god to... Really wish I took a moment to sit down and actually do this stuff off stream. Just so I had a basic plan when I came on stream. But I was busy with Dark Soul grind, so this is what it is. Right. Problem is, I'm not 100% sure how we go about this. Busy staying alive. Bit by bit. Bit by bit. We got there, I think. Maybe. Probably not. Oh, my stomach is still doing the fucking twirl. But I should be fine, I hope. I hope. I can feel these wasted cans of whatever all over the place. Oh wow, we ran out of corn really quick, didn't we? Sorry, flour. Still. Right, that should keep it going for a little while longer. Now our goal is 4k of the green stuff and 20k of the gold stuff. Yeah, the double whammy with all that. I'm pretty sure I also overdid it with the non-sugar free energy drinks. I'm pretty sure that also put me down. It's hard to tell. But I'm better-ish now, so I'm hoping there's going to be no problems in the near future. It's quite a stretch for this hope, but I'm hopeful. Now, did I give this god a name? Fred, wasn't it? Oh, exhausted. So how have you been anyway? Any wonderful and delicious news? Did you eat anything sexy? God, I wish I ate something sexy. I've been eating... Well, that's not true. My local store have been doing this spice bag for a while now, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's like shredded spicy shredded chicken with spicy wedges with some extra spice and some vegetables, chopped diced vegetables mixed in to give it even more spice, which includes peppers and other stuff. It was delicious. Then you slather barbecue sauce and cheese all over to give that extra oomph, and it's like, oh god, yes, you know, it's like yes. But yeah, that's the sexy I've been eating for a while now. I believe you're the peak of human health. I'm a peak of something, but health is not it. I am a human and I am a health. It's like, that one kicked me. Oh, nice. Your birthday's on Saturday. That's cool. Well, in case I miss it, whatever, since it's, you know, a Saturday, happy birthday. The baby's 1 year older. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. You know, every time I come on to play this game, or to do RPG Maker, I turn on this stuff and I think to myself, why don't I just do a Rusty stream sometime? Then I'm like, that wouldn't work. Then I'd actually have to talk to ye. I can't talk to ye. I'm not socially adept. Now let's see. And 2 years plus of streaming. 2 years plus of streaming. Do you know I actually lost social capabilities because after starting streaming? In the past, I was like the type of person that could make phone calls to people. Now I can't. I'm that lazy now. I blame COVID. I said blame, not playing. Dear God, Chat-chan is Translator-chan is really after me. Could do it just chat and leave Rusty on. Probably just spend most of my time going, you know? And that wouldn't exactly be the best. What would we even chat about? I would probably find something to mumble on about. I don't know, maybe I'll do that as a... I want to try that type of stream. It'll be great, but it won't be great, but it'll be a bit of fun, I think. Maybe we can talk about past games and things we grew up with. One sec. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Constantly tired. Oh. Random message. Give me a second. My mother helped me with picking up some medicine because I would not go out for myself. I bought like some minor painkillers and I was like, that's good enough. Now, do a monster can review. Oh dear God. Wait, the can itself. Look, honestly, the best monster can I've seen so far is Bad Apple. If you ever get a chance, look it up. Monster Bad Apple. It's actually not bad taste-wise. I'm already after forgetting where we were. Sorry for the confusion, Spar. There was... The time was against me. Backslash. It's backslash, yep. N is our code. Bracket N. Bracket for our name. And that. For, you know. It's not important, but we add it anyway. No, wait. I did that in the wrong order. N is the what we're looking for. N is the name, I believe. We'll double check up here. Yep. Backslash N, bracket 10, close bracket. Again, for those who want to know, backslash N is the it's the name input. It inputs the name of a character, and the character name you have to, it inputs is based on the actor. So we go in here, go into actors. Here we go. Actor 10 is player. This is what we look like at the start of the game before we select our actual appearance. So backslash N bracket 10 will pull the name of the player. But since we get to rename the player in the introduction, when you play the game, that player will have a different name because it'll be the name you input. That's why the 11 bracket is our pet name, which will also be get a selected name, so you don't have to worry about it. What do I have? Oh, right. They were my best at testing characters. I'm going to have to delete them later. Okay. Actually... yeah, default colors, that's fine, though the art is a little off, that's fine. So let's see. I give this one to you, pets turned down. Let's input a weight here. A weight of 20. Yeah, we'll give ourselves a bit of dialogue. Okay, that should be fine. HL. What? I know that phrase, HLX. You're not telling me there's a microscopic possibility that we'll get a Half-Life 3. Is that, you're not telling me that, right? Because if you're telling me that, there's going to be a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Like if they call a Half-Life 3, the entire internet's going to explode. They have to call it Half-Life 4. I want them to call it Half-Life 4. I wanted them to extend the middle finger to all the players. It's like, here's Half-Life 4. Who knows, maybe it's like a HD collection of the first 2 Half-Life games. That'd also be hilarious. Okay, should I input something here? Yeah. Okay. I'm saying there might be something Half-Life. Ever since Alex, the dev teams have been working on a project called White Sands. And data mine points to Zen creatures. Ooh, interesting. I let the news simmer for a bit before I told you, because something like that is delicate. Well, I can't complain. But I have extremely specific hopes and expectations. I fully expect for them to somehow skirt around the fact that it's a Half-Life 3 and probably another Half-Life side story. And if they do bring it a Half-Life, I kind of hope they don't call it Half-Life 3. They just skip over 3 and call it 4, and it just continues where it takes off. But it is what it is. It's like, at this point, I don't expect to ever see a Half-Life 3. I don't expect it. More Half-Life, I would expect, and I'd look forward to it. But I have no expectations for a Half-Life 3 anytime soon, or ever, if I'm being honest. Did I say 2? 3. And that's not because I don't want it. I want it. I just really want them to beat. If they do it, I want them to beat around the bush. I want them to extend that middle finger. There's no such thing as Half-Life 3 and just call it Half-Life 4. Just be like, fuck y'all, you know? You will never have Half-Life 3. Never. Can you imagine the fucking calling it an anthology? Half-Life 1, 2, 4. It's a trilogy, but they call it an anthology because 4. No one expects a 3, but anything for Half-Life will make the fans happy. Especially if it's not VR and something good. That can be read really wrong, especially not if it's VR and something good. It's like you're saying it has to be bad in order to be Half-Life. Wow, that's one way to read a sentence. No, 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 no. No, I think I can fit it all in here. Hold U /N then the interfere. You know, we're going to do a Solid Snake thing where we just keep asking, saying one word as a question from. So we repeat back the sentence and ask it like a question. That's my favorite type of asking for more information. Like, a new kind of super weapon. A new kind of super weapon? Yes, a weapon to surpass Metal Gear 2. Because the expectations are going to be intense, and the reason we know is because VA slipped up and mentioned White Sands. Let's see how it pans out. I hope it's good. I hope so. I really look forward to it. Okay. No, made is to, yeah, prepare a new vessel. That makes more sense. I prepare a new vessel. I prepared. This is important, this wording, because the goal is that at some point we're going to have to address the origins of the vessel. We might address the origins of the vessel, because I'm still not sure exactly how we're going to go about the vessel. So if we leave this word vague, it means we have the option to explore it, but we don't need to commit to it. I do love the way Snake would ask the last word. The last world be word. Last word he heard. How would IRL would be asking? What's that? Yeah. What's it do? That sounds about right. You need the PAL card. PAL card? Yes, a small device. Okay, that's actually been something that was used 3 separate times in Metal Gear. In all 3 of the starting Metal Gears. In Metal Gear, it was a key that had a little side quest attached to it. In Metal Gear 2, I think it was actually it was relevant to something. I don't remember what. It had slightly higher importance than in Metal Gear 1, if I remember rightly. And in Metal Gear Solid, it also had it was actually extremely relevant to the plot. The idea is that in all 3 games, there's a shape memory metal key. And if you brought the key to specific locations, the key would transform, and then if you brought it back to a specific door, you can use that key at that door. But you have to prepare all 3 keys with the same key. And it was in all 3 games. I don't think it was ever introduced in Metal Gear 2. At least I don't remember there being a PAL system in Metal Gear 2. Metal Gear Solid 2, I mean, sorry. And I don't think it was included in any other Metal Gear Solid after Metal Gear Solid. That's one of those things that are confusing about the whole renaming the series. Metal Gear Solid was the 3rd game in the genre. But because it's called Solid, a lot of people think it's the first game in the genre. It's not. Metal Gear 2, they were the first games. Snake's Revenge, it was a bastard offspring that turned out not to be included in the main saga, but that's a different kettle of fish. Yeah, the 3 key cards from Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid. My god, that is so confusing. Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid 2. All because they wanted to be cheeky. The only reason Solid was put into the name series is because it was 3D games. That's it. Metal Gear 3 was renamed to Metal Gear Solid because it was the first 3D game they ever created on the PlayStation. Let's see. Okay. Damn it, that's not it. A permanent vessel. We are sold at Habis. If you summon spell to your soul, is it vessel or vessel? Let's check. As you know, my spelling skills aren't exactly the best. Oh, it's L. What about Al? Is Al also a functional one? Oh, Vessal is also a functional word. Weird. Yeah, if you say Vessal, it gets redirected to Vessel. I'll go with Vessel just to be safe. Well, that's the fun thing about, spelling. A lot of words in European and Americans, despite being the same word, have a variety of different spellings. Because of that, it's never uncertain. Like, the European word for... Really? The European word for colour has a U in it. But in America, they ditched the U for a reason. There's also a lot of American words that swap out the S for a Z. That one's blamed on telegrams, believe it or not. Supposedly, this is a supposedly, I'm not saying this is the truth. Supposedly, the letter S was particularly expensive because you were charged per letter, and certain commonly used letters were more expensive than the not so commonly used. And because of that, people started to supplement certain letters and reduce the size of certain words, ultimately creating what a lot of people would call early text messaging. But Z was cheaper than S, and depending on where you put it in the word, which made no difference to this pronunciation. Yeah, exactly. Those examples you put up on in chat there, they're perfect examples. Grey and grey, cancelled and cancelled. There's tons of minor little differences. Very small, but they can matter depending on who's reading them. Honestly, I'd do the same. I don't even blame him. You're talking to someone who used to use the word great with G or the number 8, and yeah, like old-fashioned text messaging. I don't know if the kids still do it today. I know as an adult I don't. Believe it or not, it's actually easier now as an adult to actually use proper words than it is to try and read all that mumbo-jumbo that we used to spout. God, I looked back on those messages before and I was like, how the fuck did I read that shit? I say Z. Why? Do people say Z? Yeah, Z's a thing. Lord Zed. Oh, right, Zed is a thing. Lord Zed's from Power Rangers. I don't know if you're old enough to know that. The original OG Power Rangers. God, I loved that back then. Ah, yes, delete speak. Ugh. Believe it or not, every time you read a message, it was like trying to translate a new language. Eventually you got proficient at it, but if you don't keep it up, you forget. Right, we're going to have to break this up soon. Because I assume we're going to have to reach a point where I want characters to move around on screen so it doesn't feel like just one big long text morph. Why is she morphing? Yeah, I watched it. Fair enough. I used to love that when I was a kid. I thought the one thing they never properly utilized was the whole armored upgrade. Like, for some reason, they spontaneously made the whole, yeah, we'll now do an armor upgrade to our Power Rangers, obviously to sell toys, but they never actually properly implemented it after like 6 episodes. No. Well, that was Power Rangers. Green Ranger was my favourite. I love the fact that he could control his Megazord from outside of the outside of it with his weird flute dagger thingy. And then everyone fell in love with the Green Ranger. And I remember crying when the Green Ranger, basically carried a nuke, effectively a nuke out into the ocean and blew up. I was like, God, I loved Green Ranger. He was so epic whenever he showed up and absolutely clapped everyone's ass cheeks. You rewatch some of the episodes out of nostalgia. Oh, brilliant. I remember the 2 bumbling bullies as well. They actually got bigger roles later on. I thought it was amazing that they went out of their way to do that. They took these stupid, idiotic characters and made them more interesting, and at the same time made them somewhat sympathetic, and made them more relevant to the cast of the show, even if it was only for a little while. I thought it was good. Clever. They could easily have just left them as a bunch of idiots, even killed them off. But no, they tried to do something with them, even if it was something small. I remember watching the movie. The movie was awesome, because the first time we really saw a damaged suit. I was like, oh my fucking god. Child me was like, oh, watching everything exploding and fucking all the Megazords being ripped apart and slamming into the ground, and the Red Ranger standing there barely alive with half his helmet ripped off, and I was like, yeah. Rewatching that stuff is corny as all fuck, but it was so good. They played their part good and carried them through most of the series, which I'm kind of surprised. Yep, you're absolutely right. Oh. God. I would never be able to watch it with the same intensity I had as a child. But damn, they did a lot of good things with the characters here and there. Though I didn't like learning about all the weird shit that went on behind the scenes. Movie was The Red Rangers. That was great too. The show was very corny, but it was great. Exactly. Absolutely fantastic, if you ask me. Remember correctly, the gods and the dog should both be around here. I should be right here because I set it up so that he'll be summoned right beside me. Okay. That in mind, I've done this right. It should be around here. One of these two slots. I'll have to double check later. Actually, I'll double check now just to be safe. Okay. Yep, we got the motions. You finally arrived. The look down kind of just flickered in and out. It's not important, but it's there. Favorite OP is the Lost Galaxy one. I haven't watched a whole lot of Power Rangers after Ninja, believe it or not. Bits and pieces here and there. Like, I think there was this one one Power Ranger series that I found really interesting because it started really strong with the bad guy ripping his own spine out of his back and using it to kill a Power Ranger. And it's like, oh, well, fuck, you know? When I saw that happen, I was like, oh my god. That cemented me, it gave me a lot of interest in that particular series. If I remember correctly, that one revolved around, yeah, if I remember correctly, the Red Ranger in that one didn't acquire his transformation legally, because they were basically kind of a cop system at that point. But he kind of got brought in because of his proficiency with the transformation, if I remember rightly. Plus, he was driven by revenge because he wanted to kill the guy who killed the Red Ranger. Lost Galaxy is before the Ninja, I think. There are two Ninja look. Oh, right. So the original Power Ranger Ninjas was actually the original morphing Power Rangers. They just got a new set of powers after Lord Zed died. If I remember correctly, Lord Zed died and their powers were destroyed. But then they encountered Genie, and Genie gave them new powers. But they didn't trust Genie at first. At least, I don't think... Did Lord Zed die? I think he died. If he didn't die, his powers were just not viable anymore. The ninja... The Genie came along and it's like, I'll give you new powers, and they got it, and they were kind of really distrusting of him for a long while, and eventually started to trust him. That was the original ninjas. Then I remember later on they actually did more ninja stuff with a new crowd of people. But yeah, the original ninjas were Mighty Morphings. Oh wait, that makes it 3. Oh, you never seen the original ninja ones then? Fair enough. Or you just didn't remember them. But yeah, the original Mighty Morphing Rangers, they just became a new brand of Power Rangers, ninja based, and it went from there. Where are you? Forgive me. I forgot your kind fear what they cannot perceive. Better? A doll? A temporary vessel. Good enough to briefly we have to move that converse with a mortal. Who are you? Aha! You're right. Never introduced myself. I am Fred. I am the one who called you to this world. The one who provided you with a new vessel. The one who wishes for your aid. Fred? Yes? Sorry, it's nothing. Are you really the one who called me here? Yes, I gave your body and pet. I gifted this one to you for your protection and company. I'm sorry for the confusing start, but time was against me. Using. I was treated like a rabid beast and almost got murdered a dozen times. I know, but I did not have the time to inform you of everything before I could interfere with the ritual. Interfere? Yes. The ritual doesn't create new life for the dead. It kidnaps already living humans from other worlds. I prepared a new vessel for your soul to inhabit. I then interfered with the summoning spell to bring your soul into the new vessel. Okay, this is where our dialogue ended. First things first, go back in here. We have to find that one dialogue where it breaks off. I think it's this one, right? Yep, goes a little too far out. Down here. We'll pop you up here. Okay, that should fix that. And then there was Ninja stuff. Yeah. God. Do you remember the Power Rangers where they're all basically just driving doom buggies across the desert? I think I've watched like 3 episodes of that. Power Rangers kind of became scarce for me. It was rarely on, and when it was on, it was never on in times I could watch it. And then there were just really weird Power Ranger shows that kept coming out, and I just got lost in time. At some point, I'm going to have to watch them in the Kamen Rider series because, well, I'm curious. Like, I'm genuinely curious. I don't think I'd be able to sit down and watch the original Power Rangers like I used to. I tried, believe me. There must be a couple of series that I haven't watched that I'll find interesting. Plus, I'm curious about the whole Kamen Rider, the so-called OG, and how that all pans out, because I hear there's a whole bunch of different styles with different intensities. Some of them are a little confusing, like that one Kamen Rider where the guy's family was murdered and he was kind of following the soul of his dead unborn child, and he's going around beating up and killing people, and I was like, okay, I'm curious about that. I'm also curious about the Kamen Rider that's just a giant insect, like just a big ass fucking insect. Like, they tried a lot of different things. I'm curious about it. But I never actually got to sit down and really dig my teeth into Kamen Rider. Okay. That kind of wasn't as long as I thought it would be. That's good though. That means I can do more interference here and there. Excuse me. Okay, that's a little long. Oh, no, that fits in relatively well. We'll have to see it though. I watched a bunch, but not all of them. Zeo, I don't think I watched. Turbo, Lost Galaxy, then Rescue. Skipped a bunch of them. Mystic Force and SPD. I think Turbo is the one I was talking about involving the cars. Lost Galaxy, I'm not too sure if I've seen it. I don't know about Rescue. I remember one of the Power Rangers I used to like involved some guy with a dog head. Should look for them again. Skipped a bunch of them. Mystic Force, I've heard of him. I think I've seen one episode. And SPD. SPD was fantastic from what I remember. Kamen Rider has some neat transformations. Never watched an episode though. I'm in the same boat.
I watched a bunch of transformation sequences, and apparently some of them are really fucking well executed because there was like many episodes of build-ups leading to it. I know I'll have to dig into them at some time. Dalcade is the SPD, is the cop one. Fantastic, I loved it. Was that the one involving the yokai enemies? I'm trying to remember. Like, the idea was that humanity was throwing out their trash and they turned into monsters. That actually happened a few times, actually, if I think about it. And it turns out that all the monsters they've been fighting was actually just humanity's filth being discarded. Best I could do was the little time we had was to gift you ends so they had a chance to survive. Once there was an ability. I think it's, yeah, I think it's 2 O's, 2 P's. Let me check. Oh, up O. Oh, I said E. It needs to be O. Okay, let's see now. Backslash N close brackets. You know, I forgot we never actually named the dictator god we're going to have to talk about. No, I will not be calling her that. Sorry, I was kind of trying to come up with words in my talking that would rhyme with dictator, and I ended up with the obvious one. And no, I will not be calling her dictator. Memory is foggy, but a plot like that rings a bell. Yeah, it's just I don't know which Power Rangers it was that the yokai system was put into it, but it was there. Like, for all I know, it was put into the first Ninja Power Rangers, for all I know. Todd. Don't tempt me. It's bad enough we have Fred. For now, we'll call her Grace. We can change her name in the future. Actually, we'll set a move route now. Let's see. Actually, let's put a move route here. Let's see. Additional branch, show text. Here we go. Move down. Not player. We'll make it God. Okay. Then we'll have after this. Female. She was always planned to be female. I still haven't decided if gods actually had genders, but when I was coming up with the concept in my mind, they did. Not for any special reason, just the first choice that popped into my head for each one. Like, Fred is male, sort of. Doesn't stop him from possessing female dolls, but, you know. And, Grace, as we're calling her for now, is female. Doesn't mean we won't be changing that in the future, but for now, that's the concept. It's like, don't look too much into the gender, because there's no guarantee I'll even keep that as a concept for the characters, just as a baseline for their attitudes or their appearances. Grace is going to be a visage of beauty and grace, but she's going to be the typical dictator that's only in it for her own entertainment. She is cruel, ruthless, selfish, and her kindness is often done for her own benefits or her own entertainment. I'll think about a name. Raise, you said, for dictator? I don't remember having a particular name for the dictator character. We'll figure it out later. We have plenty of opportunities to come up with names and such. I'm kind of scared that Red's going to be a permanent name. Like, for now, like, we'll probably never see Grace in this story. Because remember, this is like one piece of a massive world. So while we're aware of Grace and what's going on, she has different machinations going on in different parts of the world. So she never really has time to pay attention to any one specific location. And because of that, we'll probably never see her. We might see some of her blessed, but that's it. We won't ever actually see Grace. For example, this fight is just us against the kingdom, ultimately. There are different factions who benefits from the travesties that happens to the summoned people. And because of that, even the people who would be our allies are technically against us, but we may never see them because they're fighting in different countries. This country is like a third party that's providing weapons to every faction outside of its jurisdiction. And it itself is also arming its own people for various reasons. But they operate like most countries that fall under Grace's rule, under the belief that Grace is the one true God to follow. She's not the only God, but the one God that's on humanity's side. And she does it in different ways because there's going to be different methods and fates. Like the summoning method she taught to the people of this kingdom to produce weapons and such was part of the reason why the people here are so faithful to her and her concept, and is why a lot of worship is sent her way, and why she has a lot of power coming from this country and many other countries. Because there's two power scalings for gods, as we said. One are the natural talents they're born with, and one is the talents they acquire through the fate of others. How the gods impose themselves varies dramatically, and that could result in the deaths of gods. Like, have you ever read any of Terry Pratchett's books? Yeah, but if I did that, then it wouldn't be any good. But rays wouldn't really suit the illusion, because the illusion is to give the image of beauty and benevolence. If I just call her rays, she loses that to those who are smart. I want the illusion to be there, from the start, and we'll see if they figure it out through the dialogue we pick up along the way. I still haven't decided on how the gods interact with stuff, but we'll get there. For example, I haven't decided how the gods are born, what their roles really are in the world. I'm thinking of having them as lesser gods. Like, there are true gods that governs certain aspects of reality, like time, fate, death, so on and so forth. But those gods have no jurisdiction over one planet. Then there are planetary gods, which are gods that are born on the planet, but I haven't decided if they're born from the planet or the face of the creatures that worship them. There's a lot of things I have to take into account here. If I do from the planet, then there's that's no game, no life kind of thing. And I don't think I have this universe set up with that idea in mind. But if I make it so that they were born from the concepts, human concepts, then I'd be following Terry Pratchett's logic, where gods are created by people to fill certain roles, and the gods have to work towards make certain religions and faiths so that it'd be possible to maintain a steady income of faith, because if they don't have enough, they die. Which is funny, because one of the defining factors of whether a god lives or dies is whether or not they ban chocolate. If a god bans chocolate, mortal greed, or the mortal's love for luxuries and sweets and such, would ultimately cause them to turn away from the faith, and the god will ultimately starve. You never read Terry Pratchett? Yeah, you should try it sometime. Terry Pratchett follows the same line. There's like conceptual beasts like that. Then there's gods born from humans' face. And those gods can live or die. And there's always competition with gods born with the same concept. Like, if two gods of fate exist, ultimately one gets killed off because one fate will get absorbed by the other. Or, I'm sorry, one fate will ultimately overpower the other. Usually, typically. Sometimes there are people with multiple concepts. But I like that idea. I think Genshin Impact, not Genshin Impact, Star Rail does something similar with their their grand beings or deities, where if a deity is born with a concept and a new one is born with the same concept, the stronger one will devour the weaker one, if I remember correctly. But for now, it doesn't matter. We'll work on the logic behind it in the future if we need to. Zeus slaps Jupiter. We hear more of Zeus. And then you have the mortal gods. Things like Odin, fucking Thor, and so on and so forth from Asgard. Those ones are interesting because they don't have concepts and they weren't born from human fate. They simply live and die like any other species, mortal species. That's one of my favorite kinds to think about, because it kind of puts the gods on an elevated state, but also gives them a vulnerability and weakness that's entirely human, which can make them very relatable. Why the God of War series works so much, I think. Not only because Kratos is so angry, but because the gods can die. There's a mortality to that, and it takes these titanic beings down to a level that's kind of human. At the same time, the idea that they're so overpowered that you still need a god killer to kill them. I hear the term Aesir a lot, so I'm not sure. I am no specialist when it comes to the gods. I only know them as the Norse gods. But yeah, it's like I said before. Thor, the god of thunder, wouldn't have been the god of thunder. He'd arguably be the god of goats, because for some weird reason, there's a lot of goats in his story. And then you have fucking Odin, who is more known for poetry than he was for war, which is interesting. Move left to overlook the side. The text. Well, that's the fun thing about Odin as god of wisdom and knowledge. He was oftentimes wrong, which is funny enough. Like, he's, as a war tactician, he was fantastic. As someone who likes to play word games, he was amazing. But when it came to the intricacies of mortal life and so the concept of kings and such, he actually loses to Freya a lot more than normal, than you'd expect. Like, I think one of my favorite ones is how Freya and Odin were living together on a island, and two brothers ended up shipwrecked on their island, and they were both taken in by the gods, but by the two of them, they were hiding as gods. They were hiding their identity as gods, but they were taken in, and both of them kind of made a bet. Odin believed that tactical knowledge and power and warfare and such could make a great king, while Freya believed that kindness, generosity and all that would also make a great king, and they decided to make a bet to see who would actually become a good king. So they both raised each child separately, with different concepts, beliefs, morals, so on and so forth. And then one day when they were big and bold enough, they set them on a boat and sent them back to the kingdom. But the guy that Odin had raised knocked threw his brother overboard to let him drown. He then arrived home, took it over, waged war against multiple countries, to neighbouring kingdoms, and it was sometime later that Odin appeared again wearing his blue cloak and dressed as the Old Wanderer. When he arrived at the castle gates, he asked for shelter, if I remember correctly. This is vague knowledge, don't quote me on this. And when he did, he was met with rudeness. He was to be cast out. I think they threatened his life, and this was the king and his goons. And Odin was righteously pissed off with the fact that the person he raised was nothing more than a warmonger, a useless, misbegotten bastard of a being. I don't know if he killed him then and there, but I do know that the brother who was thrown overboard, he actually survived and was living a quiet life. And ultimately, I'm forgetting massive chunks of the story, he ends up replacing the war brother as king and created a kingdom of prosperity and happiness. And Odin was kind of forced to acknowledge that he lost the bet, that a king made for war and conquest isn't necessarily good for every circumstances a just and righteous king is. And sometimes you're going to need that caring and kindness more than you're going to need war. Of course, the reality of it is that a war-torn king is only good in the times of war. Otherwise, they're just tyrants. But yeah, that was one of my favorite stories, even though I'm after forgetting almost all of it. That's one of my favorite stories involving Odin the Wanderer, where he and Frey made a bet on the lives of two children and how they'd be raised as kings. And ultimately it was Freya who proved that, well, Odin wasn't always right. So if I remember correctly, Odin the Wise came from the story of Mimir. Mimir is actually Mimir the Wise, if I remember correctly. And I think he kind of tricked Odin. Like, one of the things was that Odin wanted knowledge of everything. The usual gimmick with Odin. And Mimir was guarding the fountain of knowledge, I suppose, in some stories. I think in other stories it wasn't even the fountain of knowledge. Odin was just thought it was, and Mimir just couldn't be arsed for them. But let's go on with the idea that it was the fountain of knowledge. And if I remember correctly, Mimir kept refusing it, but one day Odin came in very insistent, and Mimir was like, sure, if you pluck out your eye and drop it into the fountain, I'll let you drink from it. And he didn't expect Odin to actually pluck out of his eye and drop it into the fountain and take a cup from it. And apparently after he acquired the knowledge that lets him understand everything, he was like super pissed with Mimir because he realized it was a very unfair trade. Oh yeah, a lot of people knew him as the god of war because in the early stories of Odin, he in his youth he would trick neighboring countries into waging war against each other, and that includes peaceful countries and allied countries. He tricked them into going to war with his silver tongue, and then he would just laugh about the whole thing. He was kind of an extreme asshole, but that was like early Odin. Let's see. Very mischievous, except for the fact that he just loved watching mortals go to war with each other and killing themselves en masse. So, yeah, quite an asshole. That's wrong. Move right. Down. Wait. 8? Okay, and what to do with me? Yeah, we'll try and push along this story a little bit. Skip over some unnecessary dialogue because we could be here forever. I wish for your aid, but beyond difficult. No, that's not right. We have to use our power by okay, this is going to be weird because we have to explain this in such a way. Okay, keep this going. Nope. Nope. Up one. Did I hit insert twice? Weird. Yeah. See you now. Okay. He is explaining to the best as he can to let us know what's going on. It's a lot of exposition. A lot of information is being dumped on us. Okay, let's see what we got. I wish for your aid. I hope you will help us reduce our power by defeating those who abuse the summons. What? Why? Grace gave this kingdom... Oh, that is not spelt right. Yeah, that was spelt right. Grace gave this kingdom knowledge of summons to ensure the gratitude and fate of the region. By destroying the king that produces fate for her, we hope to destroy a source of power to her. Here we'll put in a... Where is it? Move one step backwards. Okay, apply. Okay, now let's see what this looks like. Finally arrived. Where are you? Forgive me, I forgot your kind fears what they cannot perceive. Better? A doll? A temporary vessel, good enough to briefly converse with a mortal. Who are you? Ah, you're right. Never introduced myself. I am Fred. I'm the one who called you to this world. The one who provided you with your new vessel. The one who wishes for your aid. Fred? Yes? Sorry, it's nothing. Are you really the one who called me here? Yes, I give you a body and your pet. I gifted this one to you for your protection and company. I'm sorry for the confusing start, but time was against me. Confusing? I was treated like some rabid beast, I know. I did not have time to inform you of everything because I'd interfered the ritual. Here? Yes, the ritual doesn't create new life for the dead. It kidnaps already living humans from another world. I prepared a new vessel for your soul to inhabit. I then interfered with the summon spell to bring your soul into the new vessel. The best I could do with as little time as we had was to gift you pets so that you have a chance to survive. Once there was an opportunity, I was able to bring you here, away from her gaze. Her? Grace, the god who stands above the rest. Grace rule above the gods with an iron fist, fueled by the fate of countless mortals. And what has that to do with me? I wish for your aid. I hope you will help us reduce our power by defeating those who abuse the summons. But why? Grace gave this kingdom knowledge of summons to ensure the gratitude and fate of the region. By destroying the fate that the kingdom that produces fate for her. We hope to destroy a source of power for her. Let's see, how am I supposed to defeat and then... Oh, gonna have to fix that. And it ends there. Okay. Creating an army. Yeah, we'll leave that be its own independent page. We have a... Oh, I won't say that. Yes. Hmm. Okay, I'm not forgetting what I was about to say. The kingdom... Okay. I have craftsmen who can aid in developing a village. I wish for you to lead them. Okay. I say no. And you can live your life here however you please. And like that. I had hoped for your aid. I did not expect Did not expect you to do so for free. Hope with the eventual state of grace we can hope that with the eventual defeat of grace, we can collectively make sure we have some dialogue. /n, then close bracket, wish, solid snake style. Yes. I would offer this wish to you. As a reward for your services. Okay. It is a lot of dialogue. Way too much. We had to cut down a lot of stuff, remove a lot of information, but we can apply that information further down the line as we see fit. This is rough, to say the least. Very rough. A lot of text, but we have to do it. We need to at least set the basic concept of what's going on, answer questions that weren't given to us in the beginning, but answer questions that were given to us in the beginning. And while we're not getting all the answers here, it's a very rough stuff, and he's kind of pushing the conversation when it comes here about the reward. Like, let's see. See, he's kind of leading the conversation by pushing in new topics that causes us to question those new topics, which doesn't give us the chance to question other things. And once he has this idea set in stone, makes me realize how much work goes into storytelling of a game. There's a lot of work. And this is just writing a basic story. And in all honesty, there's way too much writing here. But I have to do it. It's unfortunate. I don't have, like, infinite choice, infinite dialogue lines. I don't have, like, cutscenes or anything like that I can't manually create, like, here. So we need this to work. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. For now, we'll develop these dialogues based on whether we say yes, no, so on and so forth. Oh, excuse me. So these are our choices. And the answer is yes. Stuff happens. When it's no, stuff happens. When it's unsure, stuff happens. When send me home, stuff happens. So we'll start with send me home. Backslash N10. We pulled you from a sea of souls in your world. If we send you back, you simply die. But we lack the fate to grant you that wish, especially as you're dead. It matters how. We pulled you from a sea of souls in your world. If we send you back... We send you back... No, you simply die. Send you back, we need enough fate to break boundaries. Between worlds. Okay. Send you back with your vessel. We'd need enough fate to break boundaries between worlds. No, that's supposed to be something Fred says. We have to copy that. Okay, then in here. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay. So if we choose send me back home, we get the dialogue, I'm sorry, but we lack the faith to grant you that wish, especially as you're dead. That matters how. We pulled you from a sea of souls in your world. If we send you back now, you simply die. To send you back with your vessel, we need enough faith to break boundaries between worlds. Control V. And without my vessel? I can simply expel your soul and you'd be pulled back into your I said souls plural there. Where you would be dead. This I can do now. Okay. So this is a big no, edit. Pull back from your into your world where into the Sea of Souls where you will be dead. Right, we'll refer to it as a Sea of Souls as a collective, not as if it was just one world. We'll work on the idea that the Sea of Souls is something that is a great location that all souls from every reality will eventually find themselves back in, and then they'll be cycled back into every other reality in the form of reincarnation. I was thinking about I might do the same thing as Final Fantasy, where each world has its own Sea of Souls, like a life spring. But I'll go with that. We won't tell him that it'll be the same Sea of Souls, just that will be expelled and we'll rejoin the Sea of Souls. Whether that's one location or that's a location on each planet, it doesn't have to be answered like that. You just have to know that the Sea of Souls exists. Here, we pulled you from a Sea of Souls. If we send you back now, you'll simply die. We send you back, we pull back into the Sea of Souls, because this one over here says a Sea of Souls and this one says the Sea of Souls. I want these to both be relevant because I want them to bring up a question in the reader's mind if they decide to ask themselves that question. Then we'll do another show choice. Do it. Forget it. Okay. Then we'll put in red. I see. And respect your choice. Do animation. Player. It was darkness 2. Okay. Wait for 20. Okay. And then game over. Apply. There you go. Game over. That's another game over sequence. Okay, the conversation is coming along. Slowly, but surely. But I'm going to stop there because we're encroaching on the 2-hour mark. And I have some stuff I want to do. And then I'll probably come back with some EDF because I did promise some EDF. So, let's check on our progress over here in our favorite little scrap world. Money's coming along. Okay, I think we almost have enough. Yeah, we just need a little bit more and we'll have enough. That last house is going to be huge for us. Because the ability to plant seeds for us is going to be massive. Oh, don't worry about that too much. Remember, this is something of a pet project. It's just something to do a bit here and there to pass the time. And it's good to talk about this stuff because it does fuel ideas. And those ideas can actually produce more ideas, which could make a huge difference. Nice progress today. Yeah, it's a little bit of progress. I remember having days where just doing an entire a simple conversation could take multiple days on end to do. Because back when I was more ambitious, I not only picked, what was it? I actually wrote a small script for recognizing gender as well. And I tied it based on the item we started off with. So, ultimately, though, I used to make it so that if you had a certain trinket, certain text dialogues would change depending on what trinket you had. It was basically some kind of conditional choices that would change whether an input would be he or she. Bit of a pain in the ass to set up now, so I just didn't do it. Honestly, I am bollocks tired, but I did promise a little bit of EDF. I'll see what happens in the next bit because I have to make myself a wee bit of dinner. But I think everything is good for now. We made a little bit of progress. That's massive. Like, it could have been worse. What are you? This weird wanderer walking around down there. Oh, we're so close. Look at all that. Oh wow, you stayed up till 3 a.m. You fucked up. I woke up at like midnight. I've been awake since. No, that's not true. I took a few naps here and there. I've been having trouble, you know. Then I was on the toilet seat holding my ankles while screaming to the four hells. Now, let's drop out of here. Okay. Oh, all that extra bullshit. Swap up the chassis. Ah. Soon. Soon we'll be finished the dialogue tree, and when that is done, we can move on to the next section. You like the storytelling Norse mythos? It's only a little bit that I remember. Like, there's obviously going to be a great deal of different sources of information on the various gods. And I just happen to remember a little bit of this and that. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the real deal. Why do I know that name? One sec. Oh. Chaka has a little bit of that sweet smell on it now. You smell like strawberries. Ah. I need to wash you. Well, I need to incinerate you as well. Washing is more important though. I think I licked it. I think I licked Chakkas. Ew. Oh, nice. Dark Souls lore guy. I didn't wash him. I should wash him. I didn't. Truthfully, I should be shoving a lot of people in there. A lot of teddies and such into the washing machine. I just haven't. Speaking of, I'm going to have to go through my bag of teddies, pull them out, and then shove my face into one. I have a whole bunch of these chat cat stuff, like little pandas and various different color chat cats. I want to smash my face into and just go huff. Just huff them, you know? Because they're all scented. They're all scented. I think I got a panda as well in there somewhere. Did I say panda? Well, I got a panda in there. Well, it's not too big of a deal. Anyway, I am going to slide on out. Yeah, it's the same cat on this. Wait, Discord? No. That chat cat is a 90 centimeter noodle cat. This chat cat is like 2 inches. About 2-3 inches. It's adorable. It's a little squishmallow. You can fill up your hand and you just give a little squish. Just go squish. And you just go squish. And you just go squish. And it'll actually re-inflate itself. It's so cute. It was designed to be abused. That's why I abuse Chat Cat in my free time. I'm punching it in the face right now. I'm punching Chat Cat. I'm punching you all in the face. Do you like that? Do you like that? Anyway. Yeah, I used that 90 centimeter chat cast that I was talking about as a pillow and a hug pillow. I kind of lay my head on its butt and I hold it in with its upper torso. Kind of press its head in my belly. That was very sus. Only if you have a dirty mind. Let that sink in. Anyway, before I drop and become even less interesting than I already am, I know it's hard to believe. I need to toss off for a little bit. I'll try and be on soon. I won't make any promises because, you know, I'm kind of wrecked and a little sick. I'm going to see if I can take a little nap. No, not a long nap. I'll see if I can just like lay my head down for about 15, 20, an hour. And then I'll try and come back for another stream. So, good luck. Oh, no. Thank you for watching. Thank you for lurking. Thank you for chatting. And if you see this in the future, I'm going to punch you in the face. Listen. That's me to you. Adorables. Good luck. Goodbye. I wish you all the best. I am tossing off. Wrong screen.